Good evening, everyone, and welcome to CellarPass TV. We are live tonight, coming at you from the Pacific Northwest. We have Acumen Wines as our featured winery and the always wonderful Diana Schweiger. So we're very excited. They're going to be releasing their brand new rosé, and it is fantastic. You're gonna love it. We also have with us, as always, the rock star sommelier, Chris Sawyer, and we have a really special guest from Fresh Sens, Ty and Jesse Hiss, where we're going to be telling you about their flower company and what they're doing coming out of Colorado. And well, without further ado, happy Friday Eve, everybody. It's Thursday and it's CellarPass TV. Hey, Diana, how are you?
Hey, Sarah. Good. Nice to see you. And not only do we have all those special guests that you mentioned, but we also have right behind me Penelope Moore, who is going to be painting basically what she's tasting from the glass. So as opposed to a Somm writing down tasting notes, we actually have Penelope, hi Penelope, who's going to be expressing what she's tasting right now out of the Acumen Rosé for our inaugural release.
That is so cool. I love how she's expressing the tasting notes on canvas and in color. That is very, very, very cool. And something that a lot of people don't know is that Acumen Wines Tasting Room is an art gallery. So Penelope is your new installation, and with her art there, it looks beautiful, very vibrant and lively. So very, very cool. What's the story with the blend of art and wine?
The story with the blend of art and wine. I don't know, Penelope, you want to share with us what your thoughts are with that?
Sure. Ciao. My name is Penelope Moore. I lived in Napa for a long time. I most recently spent about 3 years in Italy. My paintings are interpretations of wine. So I smell and taste the wine, and then I paint my tasting notes onto canvas. So using color and texture, I'm able to communicate the flavor and the texture of the wine. The texture of the paint equals the texture of the wine. This wine is very, it's very luscious, and it's almost like olive oil. It's very, very, very smooth and silky. So I'm going to try to emulate that in my painting today.
Excellent. Thank you.
And we have 1 hour. I'm going to start and finish this painting during the time that you guys are talking.
All right. All right.
Right. Awesome.
Cheers.
Thank you, Penelope. All right. So we'll be able to watch painting of the expression of the Acumen Rosé in the background.
Excellent. I'm so excited. Well, we're going to bring Chris Sawyer in now because we are going to kick this off with some champagne, and it's the Michel Gonnet champagne, which you can now taste and buy in the Speakeasy room. That is a whole nother section at Acumen Wines. It's in a different area. You got to go through the Speakeasy, why it's called the Speakeasy. But it's a very new thing Diana's doing there. I know we've talked about it in the past, but it is open, and you can get the Michel Gonnet champagne. And we're just really excited to toast to the inaugural release of their rosé, which is, as I said, fantastic. I got to help bottle it last week. It was a hoot. And so chances are, if you get a bottle, I have touched it. So it has been blessed by the Vixen. And Chris is going to show us how to open a bottle of champagne. Chris.
Well, shoot, I wish I would have known that one. But hey, I've got another dummy bottle here. So this is the one that I'm already sipping on, you guys. So I'm already sipping on
good. Excellent.
So, the best important thing for you to do with opening a bottle of champagne is remember the 5.5 turn key. So first of all, you've got to find the part where you can get the little thing removed here and turn it very nicely. This is Paula Cornell. Love you, Paula Cornell, opening your wine, your sparkling wine here. But here's the thing. So you've got a cage on top here, and this is a very important gadget. What you do is really hold your thumb over the top of the cage, and it always takes 5.5 turns. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Undone. Take it off. I actually take the top of the cage and pull the bottle downwards. Downwards is important because if you just let it go like this, you could shoot out a light, shoot out an eye, shoot out something that's not good. So that's a very important thing. And if you learned anything this evening, this is a really important part of that. Cheers.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Now, how we got about to the actual Michel Gonnet, it was something that we decided during COVID that we wanted to expand, and we have this lovely art gallery here, and we get so many passerbys that have asked if we actually have bubbles that people can sip on. So one of our tasting room employees, Stan Brody, who's with us here, he had a relationship with the importer. And so we established this relationship that's exclusive for us to be the only tasting room in Napa to actually have the Michel Gonnet champagnes. And they work well partnering with Acumen because they share a very similar family-owned, small, and about the same amount of acreage owned. They're actually the largest owners of any property in the entire region of Champagne. So they've got about 116 acres planted in vines. They source the grapes for everything that they bottle exclusively from their own vineyard sources, which is very rare for anywhere else. They've been around since the early 1800s, and it's a 7th generation family-owned and operated operation.
That is wonderful. And I believe the daughter is now the winemaker. Is that correct?
Yeah. So Sophie Gonnet, she's been making the wines there. And unfortunately, her father passed away in 2019. But, she's a, vibrant, young, aggressive woman, and she's taken the lead and is making these wines. So the champagne that we're tasting tonight from Michel Gonnet is the Rosé. It's a non-vintage, and it's Pinot Noir based. And so basically what they do to produce this wine is they take the fresh pressed juice. And so the color just comes right from the skins from the Pinot Noir grape. And that's where how they're creating this. We also carry their non-vintage Brut, and we also have the 2011 Premier Cru.
Excellent, excellent. We had the pleasure of actually doing a Gonnet tasting down in St. Helena when we were there last week. So I could explore some of these vintages, and it was really, really great. Perfect on a sunny day, but champagne goes with everything. I've always called it the little black dress of wines, but it's also celebratory. And that's what we're doing. We're celebrating all of these great things that are happening at Acumen and kicking off an amazing spring season. So the tasting room's open by appointment. So definitely make your reservations and, get yourself some rosé, book a Peak Easy experience, and you can check out the new Speakeasy, the Peak Easy, which I'm really excited to check out next time I'm down there because it sounds like so much fun. And cheers to all of the moving and shaking you are doing at Acumen. Diana, you are absolutely slaying it. And you are, Acumen is popping up everywhere. You just came off of a big sales trip out of Colorado. You are, spreading the good news of all of the Acumen wines. And I think the rosé was just such a perfect addition to your portfolio. And it's so vibrant and fresh. I know Chris has been, really preaching the fresh aspect of everything that we do with our culinary exploits these days is we eat fresher. And this wine is just a beautiful spring wine. It just captures that essence. And I really, really had fun bottling with you last week. So thank you so much for inviting me down. We had a ball checking out the bottling line and hand bottling all of the magnums. So Diana's got one right there. It probably has a thumbprint of mine on there somewhere.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just see the size and the sex appeal of this bottle. It's a little bit taller. It's almost actually the size of a 3 liter, but it's just this long, narrow bottle that's you can actually use for flowers afterward. Yeah, thank you, Penelope. Bottle all those, and it was really fun. Thank you for your kind words about everything that we've got going at Acumen, because when I first came aboard here, we had 2 varietals that we sold here, which was Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet. And, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like I said, entering into the Michel Gonnet and the need to have some bubbles there's so many other great things that we can do with the grapes that Jesus is farming up there that, when Philip Titus came aboard here, I asked if we could make some rosé to add to the portfolio. And, it was 2020, we entered into, the global set of challenges, and then we entered into our own Napa Valley set of setbacks as well. But we persevered and managed to create this really lovely wine. We harvested it in late August. So everything was in, pressed off and in tank prior to, it was all put to rest, sitting in nice chilled tanks, just hibernating away while the rest of us went about saving our properties, fighting some fires in 2020. So, talk about beating the heat. We were able to do that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a rosé of Merlot. We grow over in the Atlas Vineyard. So,
wonderful, wonderful. And we've talked about the Atlas Vineyard several times. We had your Cabernet, the Peak Cabernet from Atlas, which, we love, coming off of Atlas Peak area. And this rosé, I got to sample it straight out of the tank last week. And I mean, it was brand new, baby. And it is perfect. Oh my gosh, it is absolutely perfect. And it's got such a beautiful floral, but strawberry. You get that just fresh kind of wild strawberry note coming off of it. And the color, I mean, this color is absolutely beautiful. Just it's a perfect pink, it's everything it should be, and it just dazzles the glass. So definitely one you're going to want to add to your collection. You didn't make a whole lot of cases, so this is going to sell out fast. So if you want it, get it. You can get it from acumenwines.com. You can get it from the tasting room there in Napa Valley. And I suggest the magnums because it's twice the fun for half the effort.
So yeah, and we only actually hand bottled 60 magnums. So if we're offering this to our club members, there's an email that's going out that, go ahead and send in. We have a wait list for them as well. So we'll start shipping these out next week.
Excellent. What's the price point on the 750 and the Magnum?
The 750s are $30 a bottle, and the Magnums are $75.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yep, our wine club's at 20% discount, so club members get the Magnums for $60. And goodness, so what is that? $24 a bottle then for the 750s.
Oh wow, that's incredible, and it's definitely one. This is a porch wine, poolside on your boat. It's just so delightful. You're going to find yourself drinking this one all summer long. So make sure you get at least a case, and
at least a case, yeah. Because if you have a cobalt boat, you're going to need at least a case of Magnums, and if you're my buddies that live on the beach, you're just going to need like 10 cases because that's your go-to.
Absolutely. And we say it jokingly, but it's amazing how fast rosé goes on a nice, hot, sunny day. So,
in fact, if you come to the tasting room and want to taste it, Chico State Girl here has it on tap. So, as of tomorrow. So you gotta have, we'll also have 100-point wine on tap too, because that's just how we roll around here.
That is fantastic. I love that you guys have the wines on tap. I think that's such a very cool and very sustainable way to run the tasting room in the first place. You're not, using a bunch of bottles and having to use a bunch of cork. That's for what goes home with everybody else. And the wine is fantastic. Some people go like on tap, but it's a perfect way to preserve the wine. You get no oxidation. It's just fresh every pour. Chris, what do you think about wines on tap?
Well, I love it. And, this is a great example of a full-bodied style of rosé, too. So this is something that you could do with such a wide range of food. For the people that like big Cabernets and big Merlots, this isn't really exactly that, but it has so much texture to it that it's a brilliant wine. And I would just add in raspberry flavor, definitely that kind of mountain raspberry, and also that little bit of watermelon that I love so much in this wine. It's just got everything packed into one, and I like it, the fact that you've got it on tap. I want some.
You want me to tell you a keg?
I might actually.
I have some, but I want more is what I meant. Yeah.
All right.
That's good. That's very good. That makes sense. This rosé really knocked my socks off. I've been sampling a lot of rosé lately. And this one it's just so beautiful. And it's a cab drinker's rosé, which it means it was perfectly made for Acumen. But it is so good. And if you like rosé with your Thanksgiving turkey, buy more. because this one, not only is it stunning in the bottle, it's stunning in the glass, and it's going to stand up to a savory dish like Thanksgiving dinner. So just a little helpful tip there. All right, we got some questions. We already got the Magnum price point, awesome, and really love getting feedback on being sustainable with the wines on tap. So cheers to you guys.
All right, thank you. More to come even, because I was working super close with the winemakers, and so as I mentioned, we didn't bottle everything yet, so we saved enough in tank that we can keep filling the kegs too. So this is exclusively for sale here in the tasting room. So we'll keep those kegs filled up. So, even if there's somebody that wanted to have a private party at home and you wanted to buy a keg for a party, it's a normal beer tap. It's easy.
All right, now you're tempting me. All right.
Cobalt have a spigot there?
Yeah, absolutely. I know how to tap a keg. I went to college.
Okay.
Chris, what would you pair with this rosé?
I think paella is the first thing I think about, because it's got enough body to really take on all that kind of spicy sausage and some prawns and, that kind of amazing rice base that you've got in there. So I think that's one thing that I would really look at. Also, anything for lunch. I mean, really great gourmet sandwiches, salad, really good soups for starters, and fish dishes for sure.
Absolutely. I was just even thinking like a halibut or cod curry would be really good. And you get that lightness out of the fish with that spice, and sometimes it's hard to find a wine that will stand up to the spice. So this one is definitely that. While we're talking about rosé, let's bring in Ty and Jesse Hiss from Fresh Scents. Hey guys.
Hi there.
Hey. They're all bundled up. Apparently it's snowing in Colorado. So
yes, we're in the middle of a blizzard out here.
They're getting a blizzard in the West Coast.
But they're super cute in their Fresh Scents wearables. I mean,
darling.
I can say too, what Penelope is painting back here so ties in with your packaging there, guys.
It really does. She's on brand.
We might have to come out there and buy that one. I think up here in the Fresh Scents warehouse.
We'll snag it.
Great idea. So tell us about Fresh Scents. What is it and what inspired you to create it?
Sure. So we're a direct-to-consumer gifting brand. We ship flowers nationwide. And really, we focus on freshness and seasonality. So we offer one type of arrangement that changes on a weekly basis, color palette, stem variation, and we pair it with really fun custom cards that you get to write your own personal message on the back that we handwrite for you. And then it gets shipped in our box and opens up.
Overnighted. We overnight anywhere in the country using a FedEx priority. So anywhere you have a loved one, we can get flowers there next day.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. What do your bouquets look like? Do you have? I see you got some flowers behind you.
Yeah, we have some flowers. This is just an example. We just finished our ship week, so it's darling. Our own custom newspaper that says "Brighter Days Ahead," kind of an ode to going to the flower market, or I guess Parisian streets. We include some really fun, like right now we have Beyonce's grandma's lemonade recipe on the back.
Oh, so neat.
Kind of fun and specific to whatever is going on. Seasonality or Mother's Day is approaching, so we have a fun little evolution of the mom gene that will be featured on this Mother's Day.
I love it.
But that's really, awesome. The focus is just to connect people and help people feel seen, known, and loved by sending gifts and flowers. So that's what we're out here doing every day.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Kind of the mission behind it was started out of the idea of a lot of people want to send flowers, not necessarily want to pick the flowers, but they just are sending more for the occasion and the reason behind sending flowers. And so our whole ordeal is trying to figure out how to do that super quick, super easy, headache-free, and really kind of focus on the reason you're sending the flowers rather than the flowers themselves.
Absolutely. Growing up, my mother had a flower shop, and I spent way too much time working there, hand tying corsages and you name it. Christmas season, wedding season. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But I learned very quickly the best bouquets you would get from a florist are the ones that you just kind of let them pick it and go with it. And that's been my secret for years. When I send flowers, like, oh my gosh, you sent the most beautiful flowers. I've never seen something so gorgeous. Like, how did you pick this? I said, I didn't. I just always say it's florist choice. And in a way, you guys are, you've honed in on that exact thing, looking for the freshest, the best collection, and sending out gorgeous bouquets because of it. So I think that's fabulous, especially coming from, a girl who grew up in a flower shop going, oh no, you don't really want the roses. Trust me, not today.
Right.
But if you just let the florist go wild, kind of like you guys have done, you end up with just the most magnificent flowers. What kind of, what farms are you working with? Is there anything special about who you're sourcing from?
Yeah, so we buy direct from farm. We use a couple growers that are in California as well as South America, mostly from Ecuador and Colombia. So, and then we have some really fun product that comes out of Europe, Holland specifically, obviously some really great ranunculus and tulips, and that obviously great European product. But that's so true, saying about how the florist ultimately knows best. That's what we're trying to set our customers' expectations to, is ultimately you can trust us. We always post what our color palette and send looks like that week on Instagram. So you can always check out what our color palette is. If you're specific and you know that your recipient loves pink, you can keep an eye out for a pink arrangement. And then we typically offer really quick turnaround time. So if you place your order on a Monday, usually in the morning, we can typically get it there by Tuesday, the next day.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is really, really cool. Not to completely derail, but a question for Diana. As one of the few women running a successful winery, how do you keep your competitive edge?
I run.
I run. I just keep running.
No, competitive edge. It's definitely benchmarking our brand against what others are doing. Having a great team that I work with, not only, with our production crew, everybody else, lines of communication, but also, I've got a lot of, good friendships in the industry. But ultimately, listening to what Stan and Monica are hearing, from what the needs are for our customer base, and also working with our club members, because we want to hear directly from them. And that was one of the things that we just did this last year during COVID, was really took a hard look at what was working, what wasn't working, and what we could do to be new and innovative, coming fresh out of the box and totally redoing, kind of like what Fresh Sends did with the floral business. But how can we make our offerings to the wine consumer unique and totally different to our club members? And enjoying wine, to me, I mean, there's so many different wines that are out there, and especially within Napa, I mean, you taste one cab and what's going to set us apart. And so I think it's all about, like anything in life, it's relationships. And so to me, with a name like Acumen, is what other businesses and partnerships can enhance life that define and fit into the definition of acumen. And so that's where I first sought out an inspiring club member, actually the father of the Fresh Sends folks there, who wrote a really inspiring book, and we talked about Sharpened by Drew Hiss. And that's actually where a lot of this started. Also, we have a really great marketing team that connected us with Philip Ashley with his chocolate company. And so, those are just to name a few of the companies that we've partnered with. And then, so, end result is that we actually have our club members that are thanking us, that are starting to, they've got a number of places that they want to get out and visit after being in shelter in place for a year. And they want to come see us because they're curious about what we're doing. So I think it's like I said, it's all about, it's the relationships and listening and being, being part of the team player, and then just always striving to be something unique and totally different. I've been around this valley for my whole life, and just to be one regular wine club, there's several. So we wanted to really stand out. But yeah,
you're doing such a great job with it. Tell us about the Red Diamond Club, because I know that is part of the namesake of the Ed Cora, which we're going to get to.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? What makes it so special?
Well, what makes it so special? Again, I was just talking about the relationships, but we've made it simple. What we had here before for our club was 3 different levels, and it was just really very confusing. And so we simplified it. We took all of our club members and we put them into one Red Diamond Club. And the Red Diamond gets its name from the Edcora Vineyard, which is named after the rare red diamond that was in the Smithsonian. It's about 5.71 carats. And so we thought, well, everything that we're doing is, diamond class, let's call it the Red Diamond Club. The Edcora Vineyard makes up about 85 acres. So that's the largest vineyard of all of our vineyard holdings. And so what includes in the Red Diamond Club is that it's 3 shipments a year. It's 6 bottles a shipment. And each wine club member gets 20% discount off everything, including library. And for every 6 bottles, they get complimentary shipping. So nice. We've also added in a few other things. It's an opportunity to also get Michel Gonnet champagnes at a 20% discount, which
excellent.
They would not get anywhere else. And we also have the magnums that we produced exclusively for club members. And then another shipment that would be the magnum that we'll select out of our library, a magnum of Cabernet. We also have these partnerships that have perks that you can't get anywhere else. So Jack Stack Barbecue is 20% off. Fresh Sens, we partnered with them. It's a 15% discount with a special code at checkout. And Philip Ashley, we have a 20% discount with him. And he's got another special box that he's going to be coming out with for the 4th of July with 50 chocolates in it. And Acumen is going to be the flavor of California. So we'll have
represent. Woo!
So yeah, and the other thing we offer is that every club member gets to bring in up to 5 guests. So that's a complimentary tasting for 6 people, which is pretty rare. So,
that's incredibly generous, actually. I mean, usually it's maybe 2 to 4, but to be able to have 6 altogether, that's a lot. And your wines are. These are not, grocery store brands. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but these are high quality luxury wines. So that is a really good perk, especially being right where you are. The tasting room is right downtown in Napa, right across from the Archer and the Andaz Hotel. So it's a great spot to kind of start your journey or end your journey when you're coming into Napa Valley. Check into your hotel room, drop your bags, and saunter across the street to start, your wine country adventure right. Grab a glass of champagne in the Peak Easy or into the main tasting room where you can sample all of the Acumen wines and enjoy it. And I think, a glass of rosé would be the perfect way to start a long spring weekend in Napa Valley.
Yep. And we'll have another a domestic sparkling wine with the Acumen label coming out.
Oh, that's very exciting. I like that.
So that will be served in the Acumen. Peak Easy is reserved exclusively for the Michel Gonnet. Mm-hmm. So that's it in this gallery base here.
Oh, I can't wait to see taste the Acumen or sparkling. It'll be domestic. That is super cool. I love that idea. And no, I will not help bottle that. No. That might get dangerous. I see Chris is already onto the Edcora. Awesome.
Love it.
It is. How's it taste? I mean, this wine we have got to explore now for over 3 months, I think, kind of off and on. And it is really growing on me. And it just gets better and better every time we sample it. So what would you say would be the cellaring on this particular wine, Chris?
Oh, I think 10 to 15 years is easy on this one. It's got a lot of depth. 16 was a good showy vintage. I mean, I don't know if it's going to go 25 like the 13 vintage in Napa Valley would, but this is definitely something that's very showy right now, but also very age-worthy as well. So 15 years, I could see it going very well. Right now, it's got a lot of the leather, nice tannins, they're very chewy tannins, dark fruit, definitely a lot of body and structure to it. And it's so fun because I did pop it open a little bit earlier than our show. Mm-hmm. And I've following its aggression, you know, like as far as it goes from this point where it was like tight and now it's like very showy. It wants to show itself a lot more.
It is. It's like, hey, let's go out and play. I am actually thinking about pairing this with my blueberry barbecue bourbon madness sauce over the weekend, because it's just, you know, that dark red fruit and you get the blueberry and that depth. I think it's going to be really a showstopper for, well, we're pretending it's summer because it's going to start raining like crazy on Monday.
We hope it starts raining here too.
I will bottle some and send it down.
I think it's supposed to be like 85 on Sunday. So
yeah, Napa Valley is officially in summer. They entered last week, apparently. So they're ahead of schedule.
More rosé.
More rosé in Napa Valley. Up here on the west coast side of Washington, I'm over in the islands. We're going to hit 76 by Saturday. So that is our summer temperature, unless there's a heat wave and you might get up to like 85, 90. And so we're very, very excited, but then it's like back to 50s and pouring rain for a week. So I thank Mother Nature for easing me back into the weather after being in Napa for a week and getting my suntan on. So I was like, oh, this is a nice transition. And then of course, Colorado's got a blizzard. So who are we to complain? Jesse and Ty, what are your favorite wines? Like, what do you like to drink?
Oh man, I am probably the wine drinker out of the two of us, but you love wine as well.
I do love wine.
Yeah.
For my 21st birthday, my mom actually got me a wine membership or wine club membership. I like darker, heavier reds. I like cabs. I like Merlots. I'm not super picky. I do enjoy rosé too. So I'm super excited to get this and try it out myself.
Yeah, I love a rosé as well. I also love a Sauvignon Blanc. So staying on the light side, but I also love a Merlot. Yeah, it's one of my go-tos.
Excellent. I always say if you are a Sauv Blanc fan, you will probably become a Cabernet Sauvignon fan as well as your palate grows. It's weird how that works, but as Chris has explained many, many times, that Cabernet Sauvignon comes from the Sauvignon, or Sauvignon Blanc comes from, or vice versa. I get it all so confused.
Sauvignon Blanc plus Cabernet Franc
gives you Cabernet
Sauvignon.
Exactly. So there's a relationship there.
I also like what Ty was just saying about, that him being into rosé, because guess what? Younger kids didn't know anything about the sweet kind of styles of rosé, and I think that's the good thing, because it's really great rosés now. So when we're talking about that, we can get into sushi and all sorts of things that we wouldn't have been talking about a long time ago, but pink wines are in. Big time. They are so good. And this is not your white Zinfandel of the past, like you're saying, not those sugary sweetness, but those had a time and a place. I think the boomer generation wouldn't necessarily have gravitated towards wine the way they did if that hadn't existed. Because, in many cases you can't go, and I've heard it said in the industry, I think it was Old Man Trinchero saying, look, you can't go from a Coca-Cola palate to a Bordeaux. It's not going to happen. So it really ushered in the wine drinkers and helped them grow up their palate to, grow into the different wines. And now, the next generations, 2 generations down, are getting to taste amazing wines, and we'll probably have a whole nother level of appreciation for wine than any of us did. So I think that's really exciting.
And that was the quote of the week.
You heard it here first. So I am really digging this Ed Cora tonight. And even though the sun is blazing and I should be like all about the rosé, I'm really kind of in love with the red tonight. And can we just take a moment to pause and check in on Miss Penelope, where it looks like a flurry of rose petals falling down on that canvas. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it does. The flowers might have had a little bit of inspiration.
Maybe just a little bit. Yeah. That is beautiful.
Of strawberry, raspberry, and the next will be the green tones. The final touches will be the green tones. We have soft citrus. It's not overly acid. It's got a softer acid to it. So you'll see just touches of orange. representing the like tangerine, orange oil. I'm getting really, I remember this from being in Italy. The wines in Lake Garda they're much more pale in color, but they had this sensation of olive oil. And this is really reminding me of that on the palate. So it's full body, but it's got this Viognier oily texture. Very, very silky.
Yep, that does. And I love how you're incorporating the blood orange or the orange. Philip Titus, when I got these tasting notes from him a week ago, he was even in the tasting notes wrote out blood orange. When I saw him last Tuesday and we were bottling this, that was one of the things he said was how he could just get blood orange out of this wine. So I love how you're incorporating that. And the citrus that he talks about, and then the rose petals, he also noted that in here, completely unsolicited. And the fact that we're tying this in with the Fresh Scents folks too. So
absolutely.
I mean, this is just, it's absolutely gorgeous. I love how you're capturing it. And even what I like too is the thickness of some of the paint that you have up there really can, I think, help express what you're picking up with that oily.
I'm trying to catch that, exactly.
Yeah.
Where, you know, some of the other paintings, the tannins might be represented with more of like a chunky, vigorous brush strokes. But this, I'm just, it's so rich,
it's soft, but it's got a viscosity to it, you know, that fills your mouth, and like you're saying, like olive oil. And I got the opportunity to actually do an olive oil tasting not too long ago, and that is kind of groovy. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to do that, but number one, olive oil will make you cough. I did not know this going into it, so during COVID, maybe not the best thing to do. But the different textures of the oil and how it fills your mouth, and that, as Penelope was pointing out, I didn't even, almost dropped my glass. I didn't even think about that, but it's true. You know, this does have so much more body. It's not light and watery. This has got depth to it, which is kind of unusual for a light rosé. So,
and I'll just add in, it's fleshing itself out, and I think that's what's so great about it. It's a real wine, you guys. It's not just a one-dimensional wine. The citrus notes are really starting to pop now that we've had in our glasses. So that's a real wine, you know. So I just think it's one of those special ones. We're starting to see so many more of these, but this is from the mountainside. No one can replicate this, and that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, you know, it's true.
What's the time? I've got to.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, you're 6:37.
What do I have? 23. 23. All right.
23 minutes. You got this.
Yeah, Chris, you bring up a really good point though about the mountains. I mean, to have a rosé of Merlot is kind of really pretty rare. When most rosés are made from, you know, such a blend of different varieties, and for us it was kind of really not a very inexpensive endeavor for us to do either, because in fact, I've been working with the cost analysis on all of this, and it costs as much for us to produce this rosé as it would a regular bottle of Merlot that we would charge $65 a bottle for. But we wanted to offer something unique and different. So, and much of that, you know, is driven because of the cost of farming that it takes to farm mountain fruit. It costs more to do, get drag tractors and get farming equipment and people through those vineyards up there in the mountains. So
you're on a hillside. You're not flat on the valley.
Yeah.
You can't automate. You can't just come through with an automated picker and just, knock it out. This is done by hand. And
all the pruning techniques and everything else. Yeah, typically this Merlot that we used for this would have been blended into one of the cabs, a small amount of cab. Just, winemaker would have drawn it out of his spice rack to blend into a peak cab or a mountainside cab.
It's beautiful. And as sad as we are that the Merlot did not get to get blended, we are overjoyed that it showed up as a rosé, and an exceptional one that I hope you guys create again and again. I hope this stays on the collection for years to come, because you're onto something. and it is absolutely spectacular. Speaking of rosé and this release, we did talk about the club membership benefits, but we have Mother's Day coming up. So do you have any Mother's Day gift specials? I know we talked about the partnerships and the fresh scents. Yep. You could really create an amazing gift for mom. So tell us about what you got going on.
Yeah, no. So for mom, you know, we have the Magnum that can be purchased for club. And then for the regular rosé, we have these 3-bottle gift packs that come in these fancy Acumen boxes. So there would be that they can buy in the gift pack. We can send those out as long as we get Mother's Day is going to be on May 9th. So we would just need orders to be coming in the next week or so for this rosé. And, you know, like I mentioned then with fresh scents too, there's, you know, you can always do a single bottle of rosé and, you know, order some fresh scents, flowers to go along with that, or Philip Ashley chocolates. So
or all of the above, or Jack Stack barbecue, and you could put it all together and have an amazing feast. And for mom, that is everything from her flowers to brighten her day, a dinner, dessert, and incredible wine. And
so for mom, I would say just order the case.
Order the case. Order it all.
It's 12 pounds. You know, the other thing that we have here too that's kind of a nice gift, and we can ship wine in it, is we actually have rolling suitcases, fly with wine, which we have Acumen branded onto those. And so this one suitcase, which is great, it fits 5 bottles of wine. It's TSA approved, and it has a small little area too where you can pack like some overnight clothes. So that way you can fly with your wine, take your wine to go. But we're also happy to put 5 bottles in that and then ship it out in the box. So you could supply mom with a nice new piece of luggage where she can take her wine on the road, especially now that everybody is getting vaccinated and starting to fly everywhere. So
that is very cool. So you can pack your 5 bottles of wine and a change of clothes, so you don't have to do the walk of shame. I love it. It's so convenient.
It's in a hard, you know, travel size suitcase, just like you could put it in the overhead bin, but it gets checked as luggage, obviously, because it's wine. But it's a nice hard suitcase. Like I said, and you can check your wine, and it makes it, you know, to anywhere you're going.
It's so convenient. And being a wine lover, and I know Chris can attest that we travel with wine. And that's just a fact of life. You know, we're going to go somewhere, we're taking wine with us, we're bringing wine back. You know, my family and I, you know, spent many trips going to Hawaii. It's been fun, but we pack up the rosé. You know, we land, you know, with our luggage full of wine, and it makes it so convenient. And just you rest assured that your wine's not going to show up broken, because that has happened to us. We have been those people that are waiting for our luggage, and out comes the plastic bag full of glass and liquid, and we're like, oh, whoops. So life has changed since wine luggage has been introduced, and so I highly recommend it. And it just makes traveling anywhere, even if you're not flying, it's just fun. If you're going, you know, for holidays or visiting family, you know, pack a few bottles of wine, and it, you know, packs easy, and you got your clothes too. So I think that. And
speaking of clothes, I mean, mom might like these too. These are some. Nice
the Bubbles pajamas. Do you still have the wiener dogs?
I don't, but we've been mostly selling these really well. It goes well with, you know, the Bubbles, but also with the pink wine. So we just got a new shipment of these in. So we've been selling these really fast too. These night shirts are great. They're super soft cotton. They almost feel like sheet material. So this is another nice gift for mom. These are $76 retail. They were made by Toss Design. So that's another partnership we have with Jennifer Hogan's brand. So another nice gift for mom. We could easily, you'd order a 2-bottle or order the 3-bottle box, but do 2 bottles of rosé, or a bottle of rosé and a bottle of Michel Gonnet, and you roll up the pajamas inside there too. So
very cute. And you've got lots of really cute merchandise there in the tasting room. I know you have some fantastic like athletic jackets and vests and all kinds of stuff. So there is more than just wine happening there in the tasting room. And if you ask really nicely, Penelope might paint you a painting that can be shipped as well. Might take a crate.
I think that, not only that, but Penelope obviously she installed her new work here. So Penelope's going to be here for the next 60 days. So folks can come by. She'll be located here in our Peak Easy room where they can come in and sip Michel Gonnet champagne in this room and then enjoy Acumen wine in the front lobby area or in our Peak room. So just so you know where the Peak Easy came from, because it's a separate business from Acumen, we actually have you enter kind of like a speakeasy off the side street. It's all noted with these pink decals that say Peak Easy. We named it the Peak Easy because just to play off words off of Acumen here. Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's our own the Peak Easy. So yeah, it's a great place to, come and just sort of hang out. We're actually hosting a couple of private parties already this weekend too. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good job. If people didn't know already, Napa Valley I know my son's kind of getting over here. Napa Valley has entered into like the orange phase. So a lot less restrictions, more tasting room capacity, more inside dining options. Small events can start happening again. So life is kind of starting to hint at getting back to the swing of things, so to speak, and Acumen is staying right along with it. So I'm very excited, and we all are excited to get out and go visit our favorite tasting rooms and our favorite travel destinations. And Napa Valley is definitely hopping. I have to say, the reservations are off the charts. I mean, we have been watching just reservations fly like nobody's business. People call us like, I was booking a tasting and then it didn't go through. And I'm like, yeah, because you took too long and somebody else beat you to the punch. I hate to tell you, it is in demand. So if you haven't already made your reservations, do it, and do it for dining too. And we went down, we're Napa Valley veterans, and we had to book our dining reservation like 3 weeks in advance just to hope to get in. And it was like an early bird special time. So, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's competitive right now, to say the least, as far as space is concerned.
One other thing too, I guess I should mention is we've got a partnership with the Compline restaurant across the street. So,
good job.
Master Somm Matt Stamp and his buddy Ryan over there. They have their full menu over here, so anybody can come in, and if they're tasting, they can order right off the menu, and they'll deliver it over here just as if they were delivering it out to.
That is so cool. I'm so glad you did that, because that's such a nice perk when you want to linger and you want to hang out, especially if you're doing like kind of by the glass and or by the bottle. and
your duck fat fries is the best compliment with any of our wines.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, with the rosé, are you kidding me? That would be
we actually
insane.
they're creating a bunch of platters for some of our big parties this weekend that we've got coming over. So
very, very cool. I've heard a lot of great things about Compline. I have not gotten to sample it yet, but till next time, as they say. Ty and Jesse, where do people order your flowers? What's your website?
Yeah, so you can go to freshsins.com. We offer ordering, and we usually say take 5 minutes or less to get through the ordering process. But freshsins.com, and also on Instagram at freshsins.
So very easy, easy domain. Good job. Thank you.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't know. You're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you didn't have to add anything else on there.
Yeah, when those boxes come, I actually I got one, and it was such a delight to to see this box, and my 18-year-old finds it. She's like, "Woo!" and she has to dig through it, and then just the way the flowers are delivered and everything. I mean, it just makes any other old way of getting flowers kind of super boring. So you guys are doing a really good job. It's really pretty, and I love the stickers. I put the sticker on my ski helmet.
Oh, awesome. Very cute. Nice.
Let's say, I got that on my helmet too.
Yeah.
Great promotion.
That's
very good promotion.
Yeah, stickers are fun. I love that. And I actually still have the newspaper that the flowers were wrapped in sitting out in front. So I'm going to try that lemonade.
I love Beyonce's grandma, supposedly.
Yeah.
Famous.
We shall see. It turns out it's like the hot dog on a stick recipe or something. But no, I think that's cute. I love the kitsch to it. I love that there's notes, there's inspiration. There's something a little bit more, that meets the eye on the packaging. I think that was so creative and very cool, and something that's definitely needed. I love just the uplifting, kind of feel to it in general. Not that getting flowers isn't uplifting anyway. You just kind of made it even more cheery. So good job. Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Chris, what's going on at Gravenstein Grill these days?
Wide open. It's great. The seating outside is wonderful, and we're just having a good time. It's nice to have so many customers back. That's in Sebastopol, where our restaurant's based, and I just won Best Sommelier of Sonoma County again for the 8th straight year. So thank you.
Good job.
But I love making people happy with wine. If it's with great Napa Valley wines, I'm pouring some Acumen, and if it's Sonoma County wines, we've got a lot of Pinot, and we've got a lot of other things. So, it's nice to be promoting their upcoming auction that's happening. But I'm doing the same thing over in Napa for Premier Napa with the Rutherford Dust Society. So, whatever it takes, and helping the cause, I always feel good about it.
Excellent. What are you eating these days? What would you what's hitting Chris's kitchen?
A lot of grilling, now that the weather is getting better. I heard this thing on the radio that it says from 4 to 9, using the less energy that you can is the best. So why don't you just do barbecues more often and sit outside?
Makes sense.
Good to me, and being helpful to this, to the community, and just not wasting energy and water. So doing the best we can. We've been making a lot of pasta. Rupert, our boy, has been getting really into new kinds of foods and helping me more in the kitchen. So it's a lot of fun.
Just had a production catastrophe. It didn't break. Yay! It's okay, John. I don't think we need to worry about this shade. I really don't. It's going to cause more problems. But yeah, grilling is definitely happening, and that's a great way to save energy. I know California especially has a lot of concerns with the power grids, the rolling blackouts, and nobody wants that. And there's a lot you can do. You can just take a break from 4 to 9, and if you can grill, and in California, you definitely can do it, and it's a great way to be outside and just enjoy the weather and spend some time with your family. Not so bad. Not so bad at all.
I'd say the other thing is Sauvignon Blanc, and I do have some Acumen Sauvignon Blanc here for the Dungeness crab, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We grabbed some Sauvignon Blanc here yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is delicious. Last spring, I paired it with my scallop ceviche tostadas. That was incredible. Definitely have to make that again. And how about Colorado? What are you guys whipping up in your kitchen these days?
Oh, man.
What are we whipping up? We made some Asian salmon the other night with some teriyaki sauce on it, which was really good. We unfortunately did not have any wine to pair with it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, we feel a little lackluster compared to you guys with the wine tastings,
We've got to step up our game.
Yeah, we do have to. You have to join the Acumen Wine Club here.
That's right. You should join the club, start building your collection. Talk to Dad. He has a great cellar.
He does. Maybe I should just go raid Dad's cellar. He does have a nice.
He does. See, you're missing your opportunities.
Right?
We just had such a fun time with him too when we were in Colorado. We did that wine dinner at Atelier. So and he's a real prankster too. He played a big joke.
Wouldn't try to pull on you.
But I mean, I'm going to say here, I just saw Penelope doing some of these circles. I mean, I'm not sure if she's going to like this idea or not, but I think that we need to make T-shirts with this print and somehow make it all around the rosé release, because that is just so beautiful, what she's doing over there.
It's really cool. I think you could definitely do something fun with that. And I can't wait to see what it turns out to be, because that would be really fun. And Penelope, you got 6 minutes. TikTok.
If I can just say something real quick too, just about the rosé. There was just a great story in Napa Valley Life, and I hope that Laura Larson is listening right now. And it was a great cover to this. If you haven't seen that magazine, the cover is worth just looking at the cover alone. But rosé is so in, and I just keep pouring myself a little bit more and more of this.
A little bit
It's
more.
so delicious. But that story that I did in that that magazine was so great, and it's just so wonderful to see how many, you know, big time Cabernet producers like, you know, like Acumen, but also so many others like Heidi Barrett Peterson, who's an amazing person, an amazing winemaker, loves rosé. And I think that that's a big hidden secret of Napa Valley is just, you know, there's a lot of great rosé out there. And the reason that a lot of people don't know it is because it gets sold out fast. And so it's a good reason for you guys to buy it now because it's not going to be around for that long.
No.
And so I think that's a big thing.
And they're getting, as you said, they're getting better and better, you know, every year. And it seems like in the last 5 years, it's just been this trajectory that's just gone off the charts. And they do sell out, and they sell it super fast. By the time you taste it, sometimes it's already gone. And that is, you know, the lighter wines, it is a hidden secret. You know, not everybody's drinking Cab all the time, believe it or not. And rosé has always been a fan favorite. It's refreshing. It's beautiful. And it goes with so many things. It's so flexible on the food palettes, you know, what it's going to work with on different foods. And it's fun. And
don't forget, it can be bubbly too.
And it can be bubbly too. So rosé comes in different and big. It can be pink. It can be big. It can be little. It can come in a can. It can be many different things. It can come in a keg. So if you really, really love this rosé, you can contact Diana and she will put it in a keg for you and have it shipped to you. So that's pretty incredible as well. But, you know, it is fantastic. So Diana, how can people get the wines that we're talking about today?
They can just go to the Acumen website, acumenwine.com. They can also call Stan, call Monica, 707-492-8336. Call us up. We'll get those orders out. We'll ship them on Monday. And the other thing too is you guys, the audience, you want to ship your wine before May 17th. It's going to be, you know, a few orders or more from us. We'll do $20 flat rate shipping, or you can join the club and we'll ship to you for free 6 bottles or more. But let's do it before May 17th, before it heats up. Otherwise, it's going to get ridiculously stupid expensive with ice packs, overnight shipping. So stock up for summer.
Yep. This is the time you want to beat the heat when it comes to ordering your wines. So if you're all over the country, you think you want to order it, now is the time. Otherwise, you may not be able to ship it or not want to ship it until the fall. And I do mean
Acumenwine.com. Acumenwine.com. There's specials there. And again, I'll say the phone number, 707-492-8336. Stan is standing by.
Stan is waiting for your call right now. He's like, yes, I'm ready to pick up that phone. It's like a telethon.
Stan is a very good man, everyone. I really enjoy
awesome.
Every time I go into Acumen and see the dog and see Stan. Awesome.
Sammy the dog. All right. Yeah. Well, we've got artwork.
Let's unveil the painting. What do we got? Ooh, that is absolutely beautiful.
The floral and oily viscosity of this wine. It is robust. It would go amazing with, I want the paella pairing, like more than anything. Because the texture of this wine would actually go really great with the seafood, and the tomatoes inside the paella with a little spice would just work so well. So I hope that in this piece, I was able to capture that particular quality that this wine has.
It's so pretty
in this painting.
That is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
And Ty and Jesse, you can buy that painting and hang it there in your warehouse.
I'm telling
Calling dibs on it right now. Yeah.
There you go. See? Wine is the great uniter, bringing people together.
Or printed paper. Well, they do the printed newspaper for their fresh pen.
Oh, how cool would that be? That would be awesome. Well, hatching ideas. We are coming to the end of the hour, so I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Penelope, amazing work getting this painting done in an hour, actually under an hour. Fantastic. Chris, Laura says she's here and great article. So fantastic. Everyone's loving the show. We're so happy for our viewers at home. Order your wine. Don't forget, you got to order your wine. It helps the wineries stay open. Hey, crazy concept. And it makes you feel good. So these are all good things. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are back on the 29th. We've got Doe Bay Wine Company out of Orcas Island, Washington, with some really fun Orcas Project wines. So order your wines. You can go to CellarPass.com/TV to check out the episodes and find out how to order the wines for that episode. Should do it soon because it's 2 weeks out. So now's the time. Exciting events. Oh my gosh, so many events going on right now. Our events page is going off the chain. So check it out. Chardonnay Classic in Napa Valley, May 20th through 22nd is going to be a showstopper. If you like wine, if you like Chardonnay, if you like food and wine and great parties, this is the event for you. So it's 3 days of amazingness, exploring the grape of Chardonnay, that in a different way that you've probably never even considered. Library tastings in every version and production style of Chardonnay, from sparkling to still, the Burgundy styles, everything in between, and the food pairings and cooking classes, and oh my, but you can go to CellarPass.com, check out all the events, and you can see the Chardonnay Classic there, among a whole bunch of other things like passport events, passport weekends, release parties, you name it. Event season is kicking up. But we are still in COVID. That means limited capacities, and they sell out fast. So if you see something you like, buy the ticket because it may not be there in a few minutes later. Been really fun. Can't wait to see you all in wine country very soon. Have a fabulous night, and cheers to you all. Clink.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Awesome.